Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Judy. Today we're going to be working on preparation for some mixed media projects. I got my gesso. This is by Delta and it is very old. I don't have any idea when I got it. And it's relatively new. So I got some water. I'm going to get my craft mat. And this craft mat is from Close to My Heart. Protects your surface. Makes cleanup easy. Alright. I brought in some watercolor paper. This I got at Tuesday Morning for $4.99. There's 15 sheets that are 11 by 14. So I figured I could cut these down. These I am not going to gesso because it's watercolor paper and it's supposed to hold water, right? I brought in some white daisy cardstock from Close to My Heart, and this I am going to gesso. And it is really nice cardstock, but it is not made for water. And I also brought in some basil marshmallow paper that I've seen a lot of YouTubers use in their mixed media. I also have my Tim Holtz scraper tool, a roll of paper towels, some torn pieces of paper towels, just to get ready. Pull up my sleeves so I don't get my sleeves in my gesso. And I believe this is white gesso. They also have some that dries clear. Creates a smooth sealed white painting surface. So what it does is it protects the paper from the water, helps the water or your mixed media move on the paper. And I've used this before in my art classes at college and several art projects after that, but it has been quite a while. So I'm just going to get my paintbrush a little bit wet, and we're going to do one paper at a time. I'm going to do several mixed media projects over the next few weeks, so I'm going to gesso all my paper today and get that done. There is another YouTuber, her name is Rebecca Lockhart, and I will put a link in the video description to her YouTube channel. She also has a Facebook page. She is a beginner mixed media artist, scrapbooker, and she wanted to do a class for everybody to follow along, just to get ideas. So I am following along with her, and I'm going to use what's in the top here first, and I'm just going to paint it down. I like to use what's in the top because that's going to dry up first while I'm working on all these. And I'm not putting a lot on this basil paper because it's pretty sturdy paper. I don't want any paint marks or paint little pieces, dried paint pieces. Why is it when you do videos words are hard? Gesso is a water-based medium until it dries. After it dries, you can't. Oh, it's not pieces of the paint, it's pieces of my sponge. Alright. Hopefully my other sponge is better, because I thought that was brand new. So I'm going to take this now and I'm going to just make sure I get a good smooth surface. I don't want a lot of gesso on these because it will make your paper warp, and this will allow some of the ink to go down into your paper. So this is pretty dry already, but you can see even the basil is starting to curl. So this is going to go underneath my mat. Oops. I have a Close to My Heart mat, Versamat, and it is perfect for putting things under to flatten it out while it dries. So that's how it's going to be. I'm going to put it behind me on another table. Okay, and I will do the rest of the basil paper off camera. But I want to do a white daisy while I have you filming, and just so you can see the difference in the effect the gesso may have on the white daisy. This is a newer brush. I had two just in case I needed it, thank goodness. And yes, this one is much better. Foam fabric is much. I can see the little divots in the foam that look like it's bigger than the other one was. All right, so scraper. And I see some areas on the paper that the gesso didn't quite cover, and I'm good with that because that will give me some deeper, intense colors with the ink. Okay. And I like using this because it will give me a nice, smooth finish with the gesso. Okay, you can see it on there. So scrape that off. And that is all you do to prepare regular cardstock for mixed media. Now this is not, it's not warping too bad, so that's good. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest off camera, and I'll come back when they're dried and do some projects. The first one I'm going to do is the regular watercolor paper, and I pulled out some pictures. I have some of my new grandson Nathan with me and his other grandma, so that'll be one layout. And then I have some cute pictures of Nathan's mom when she was little, and she was making some cookies. And I'm going to use the Eat, Play, Love collection from Close to My Heart, well, at least the colors from that collection. And this is the sketch that I'm going to use as inspiration. All right. Now, in Rebecca's class, the first thing she did was stamp some images in different colors across the paper in a diagonal, and then use water to make the water blend off the stamped image. And that's a really cool effect. For this layout though, I think I'm going to do some on the sides. I'll do the stamped images on the sides so that they will show. And I pulled out some little images of animals. These little animals from Sweet Safari, which is still available even though it was in the previous catalog. And I also have these images to use. Now for, well, we won't go into the other layout. We're going to do the baby layout with grandma's first. Okay. So I've been working in his album, getting pictures in there for the baby layouts I made quite a while ago, a couple months ago anyway. I made a whole layout kit from Close to My Heart that was all baby boy. I don't need those. So if you're interested in watching that, go back and look at my videos. There aren't that many yet. So you can find the baby boy ones and watch those process videos. So these are nice because they're nice stamped images, or solid stamped images. So when I put them on the paper, I'm actually going to go this way. This is 14, and I'm going to be cutting it down so it's smaller. But they'll get enough ink on the paper to give it good color saturation. Okay, so got some stamp blocks to use, and you'll notice a couple of these images, the giraffe and the alligator, are facing towards the right. So when I stamp them, they're going to be on this side because I want them looking into the picture. Let's get him, well, it doesn't really matter. And the The monkey is kind of universal. He could go either side. Now on this one, the images, the toucan is looking that way, so he'd be good. And the tiger is kind of universal. The toucan would be good because he's a solid image. The bird is flying that way, so we'll use these. And I think I'm going to go with lagoon, and we may add some glacier as well. And I'm only going to do a couple of colors. Rebecca's class, she did a rainbow of colors, I believe, and that's okay. You know, you do whatever you would like. And I'm just going to put random stamping with these little critters. Now when I do the page, I'm going to have something for them to stand on, right? So I have to remember for placement where I put them. Maybe a piece of paper, you know, some kind of a label or a ledge or what have you to put them on. All right. Now that's a good animal representation. Now we're going to do this little onesie, and it is just too cute. It says, "The world is getting cuter." So we will do this in the glacier. Maybe in a couple of spots. Now, what Rebecca suggested was you now take your water, when I have a water bottle here, and you're going to lightly spritz your paper and let it run, let the images run. Actually, she didn't spritz the paper, she used a water brush, I believe, to move the paper, or move the ink on the paper. Let's get some water down, and we'll add some water. Oh, and I'm not getting any movement. All right, let's go ahead and use the spritzer. All right, we're getting a little movement. Ooh, there's some drops. And this is a learning thing. You got to learn what the paper you use, the colors, how much water you need to add. Alright. We're just going to move this water along here. I'm going to get some packaging to help move it a little bit. And this is just plastic packaging from a package, right? And this just picks that color up and moves it and makes it pool in different places. Okay, so you get that watercolor look. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Now, a lot of ladies will use their paper towel roll, and it dries. So you can just roll it over the top, and it soaks it up without moving it. Okay, made it really nice and soft. I like that. baby boy, right? All right. So now I'm going to turn the camera off. We're going to let this dry, and then we'll come back and we will add to it. Because if I added anything to it now, because the water is so saturated, it would just bleed out. And I don't want that to happen. Okay? Okay. My mixed media is dry. It's a little warped, not too bad. This is the watercolor paper. So far, I'm liking this the least of the 3 papers, but that's okay. It's watercolor paper. I'll make it work the way it is, right? So I'm going to trim this down. And I've got my Fiskars cutter with the rail. I like this the best of all cutters, and the cutter's stuck. Okay, it locks in place. In case you didn't know. Alright, so I'm going to trim this down so that it is 11 inches. I'm going to lose some of my prints, but that's okay because it is random stamping. And the paper is supposedly 11 by 14, so I'll make sure that it is 11 by 11. 11 by 11. Okay, so we're good there. And this is my mat. So process for picking things out. So I wanted to use this Eat, Play, Love collection because this is our current collection of the month. I can use some of this. The strips are going to be going vertically, so I can cut some of these strips out. I really don't want any of the cooking kitchen theme ones, so that's a good option. That's the Lagoon that matches. And let's see what else I can use. I could use the flowers. The hearts are going the wrong way, so those are going to be a no. That's too small. The red zip strip would be good. That's too short. I could cut it in half though, so maybe we'll hold it out. That's too small. A single red. This floral, the yellow, I don't know, maybe. This would be good because it's a stripe. Oh, that would be good too. The red and the red. There are some stickers here I can use along with those hearts. Made with Love would be good. A couple of the flowers, that big heart. Okay, some of the leaves would be good. Right. I think I'm going to use this as photo mats. That'll really make those photos pop. Oh, here's a cut piece that I can cut with those. And there's some floral. There is the cherry paper. I don't know, maybe I could use a cherry paper. I don't know. There's a bit. Oh, this is another one of the red. Okay. And these are all the pieces they have left from other projects. So I can see if I can use some of these cut aparts. Maybe. You never know with these little motifs how you can interpret them to work with your layout. So I always like to look through them because you just never know what might catch my eye or give me an idea or help me make a story. Like this would be a good for one of the animals to sit on. The same with that little piece of zip strip. That's really pretty. This is one of the Picture My Life cards. And this is a print that's not in the collection. I love the blue flowers too. That really matches well. All right, so picked out some of these. I'm gonna go ahead and do some cutting. As you can see, I cut some strips that are approximately 1 inch or 1/2 an inch, and I tried to lay them out so that there is a more solid color next to one that has more white. It gives them a little more definition. And then I was trying to find a layer for underneath the photos and the photo mats, and I decided on that red. And so now I'm just going to mat my photos. I put them on white to give them definition, and then they're going to go on that pale yellow orange color, and then they are going to be matted on top of all those strips. But first I've got to glue down that mixed media piece, and actually wet glue would be good, but I used my ATG gun, and you'll see that I use a lot of adhesive to hold it down, and it really helped flatten it out on that peacock layer that's the base. And then I just attached everything on top, and I'll be back in a moment with more voiceover if needed. Okay, off screen I went ahead and die cut a bunch of the little animals. He's got the little monkey. I think having this banner piece will give us some place for them to rest. I've also got some other stamped images on here I can stamp on the background. Can make a little tag for them to sit on. That little banner would be good down here. See how it gives them some definition. I don't want to add too much I could make that into a little bracket and die cut that out. I can fussy cut this. The little giraffe will be there. Oh, where's that other little green piece? There it is. Can tuck that in under there for the giraffe. I'm going to use Glacier because I don't want it to be too pronounced. I just want to add a little bit. I love how they put these little stamps to add just a little something to your projects. Gotta have hearts. Okay. That's good. I'm gonna get my Cricut running and do a title. It's gonna say Grandma Loves You. And I'll come back and show you the finished project. Okay, I wanted to get back on. I decided to stamp my title. So I got out my Hokey Pokey alphabet from Close to My Heart. It's one of our current ones, and it's a real fun, whimsical type of alphabet. So I'm gonna stamp the title on this white and then make a banner. Okay, so let's get to it. And we'll make it fun. I think I'm gonna stamp in red. So in this stamp set, there's not a apostrophe. So I'm gonna have to use the O. It's got a little swirl here, and make sure I don't get any ink where I don't want it. So I can just do the little swash like that. Okay, done with that. So now I'll get it cut out into a banner. I think I need to put this on some peacock. This is really cute. I like the toucan here on the 2020. And we've got the yellow, 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 green, 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 green. The brown, we'll have to go with what's in the picture. The teal, teal, teal everywhere. And then the red is everywhere. Alright. I think I want to stamp or do a doodle line around here as well. I have this really deep stitched line. We'll see how the espresso looks on the peacock. Okay, there is the final layout. Oh, you know what? Should I do some splatters? Oh yes, why not? All right, we're gonna do Sundance. Cover up the photos. Get some ink down there. Ooh. You just never know if it's gonna come out good or not. And it is what it is, right? All right. Close-ups will be at the end. I hope you enjoyed this. Give Mixed Media a try. Go to Rebecca's YouTube channel and check her out. It's funny because she is a close to my heart gal as well, and she also used to sell Stampin' Up, and I also used to sell Stampin' Up, and I'm now a close to my heart maker as well. So we have a few things in common. We both are new to mixed media. Well, she's delved into it a little bit, and so am I. Neither of us are going to proclaim being experts or anything, but it's a fun technique, and you know, just something fun to try. So do check her out, and subscribe to my channel if you're not a subscriber. I'm going to come up with a couple more layouts, and I will keep following along with her and keep creating and see what I can come up with. Take care.